We've been playing around with the dimensional stitches in the Husqvarna Viking Designer Brilliance 80. We were just playing with the applique stitches. You see that on this block here. Next, we're going to talk about the pop-up stitches. So stitches that actually you add a little fun edge to it, and then it stops and lets you tack them in place. So lots of different things. We've also done the sequin stitches also. So if you are at the Start New screen, you can select from the dimensional stitches under Select Technique. Most of the time you're at Basic Sewing Techniques. It's just one door over. Choose Pop-Up Stitches, Horizontal Look. And with that, there are the two stitches that come with this machine. And this one's one I do appreciate the little directions, because I always have to remind myself which way to turn the fabric. So here, let's just take a quick note. Load the stitch and then sew. Snap on the foot. So let's see which foot it tells me. It does want foot to be, so I'm going to do that right now. Go ahead and switch to that. Next, you notice that the stitch doesn't look like anything that you're going to be getting. So after you put the foot on for this stitch, we're placing stabilizer underneath, which we always do. Start to sew. When the machine stops, this is the part I'm looking for. The needle with the needle down and the presser foot is in the pivot position. Insert a small piece of fabric directly to the needle from the right. Okay, so that is what I am looking for. Sew a few stitches to secure and then turn the fabric 90 degrees counterclockwise. Now, again, there is the little video in here too. So if you're looking for the steps, you can also watch the video to give us the step-by-step directions for once we get the fabric started. So it's going to look something like that. Okay, all right, so the pop-up fabric is going to be out to the side. Here we go. So let's do this. Let's go ahead and stop the video and minimize. The needle down feature is automatically engaged for this particular stitch. And let's go ahead and use the Start Stop button so we don't prematurely stop before the machine says we're to do something. So first, take your piece of fabric, fold it in half, and fold it in half again. I'm looking for the point that has both the folded edges, not the raw edges. So this point is going to go right even with the needle from the right side. The next step is just to push the Start Stop button and let it stitch a little tack, and then it's going to stop again. Rotate your fabric 90 degrees counterclockwise. Push the Start Stop button. It's going to do this little kind of fun decorative tack, and it stops again. Next, go ahead and turn it back into the direction you want to sew. Push the Start Stop button and continue on. Let's do that again. All right, so it's going to sew into the second stitch. It's going to stop, needle down, foot up. Fold your fabric once, fold your fabric again. And with the folded point, we're going to rotate that so it goes directly into the needle, nice and even. If you need a little lift, go ahead and lift up the foot and then push the Start Stop button. That little extra point right there is just to hold it in place before you rotate it. Make sure you line up the foot and the fabric 90 degrees so everything happens nice and perpendicular to itself, and then continue on. I am going to push the start and the scissor button. This will get us right to the end here with a little lock, a cut, and a lift. Okay, so these little pop-ups, you could do these with fabric. You could do this with tulle or sheer fabrics. At this point, you can do all sorts of things with them. You can cut them into a curve. You can leave them where they are. They're super cute that way. You could even snip them so they are kind of frayed out at the top, kind of like a fun flower, maybe just at the top little edge. So however you decide to kind of trim your pop-up stitches, that is going to be a super cute addition to something that you want a little pizzazz added to.